In this class, we shall study this sutra, Rasvasya Piti Krutituk. In the previous sutra, we studied about three types of agamas: Hit, Tit, and Mittagamaha. Hit and Tit agamas are placed. Titagamas are placed before the sthani, and Kittagamas are placed after the sthani, and Mittagamas are placed after the last vowel in the sthani. This we studied yesterday. So coming to this sutra, Rasvasya Piti Kruti Tuk. Rasvasya Shashti, Piti Kruti Saptami, and Tuk Prathama. Rasvasya, we have these five Rasva letters. These are the sthani. Piti Kruti, it should be a Pit Krut Pratyaya. It should be a Krut Pratyaya and it should be a Pit Pratyaya. Pakara should be it in that Pratyaya. Then there will be Tugama, Tugagama, Tuk Agama for these Rasva letters. If these Rasva letters are followed by a Pit Krut Pratyaya, then there will be Tugagama for these Rasva letters. So by Adyantav Takitav, this Tugagama should come after this Thani. This Thani are these Rasva letters. So Tugagama comes after these Rasva letters. Okay. In Tuk, Kakara is Itto. It is for the positioning of the Agama. Ukara is for sake of pronunciation. So the Drushya Rupa of the Agama is Takara. Pit Krut Pratyayaha. There are 9 Pit Krut Pratyayaha. Quip, Lep, Yep, Vanip, Vanip, Varap, Up, Cup, Vanip. These are the 9 Krut Pratyayas in which Pakara is an it letter. In all these pratyayas, the Pakara is at the end and it is hit by Halantyam. And among these 9, the first 6 have scope for this sutra to act. Rasvasya Piti Kruti to act. In other 3 pratyayas, up, cup, and vanip, there is no scope of this sutra to be applied. We shall study that later. Let us take one by one. The first pratyaya is Vip. Indram Jayati. Asmin arte. Indra upapadasya upastitau ji pratyayasya kvip pratyayaha bhavati. I don't go into the details of the sutra and what is an upapada and other things. Just I want to explain this sutra, Rasvasya Pitikrutituk, with respect to kvip pratyaya. So ji dhatu, here ji is the dhatu, kvip is the krut pratyaya. In Kvip, Kakara and Pakara are it, and Ikara is for pronunciation, so only Vakara remains. At this stage, Lopo by Where Apruktasya. Where Apruktasya, if Vakara is Aprukta here, a single letter, so it gets deleted by Where Apruktasya that we studied. So the whole Pratyaya gets deleted here. Here, there was a Pit Krut Pratyaya and it is preceded by Rasvaswara, Ikara of the Ji Dhatu. So here Ji the E, Ikara is followed by a Pit Krut Pratyaya. But it was present, it is not present now, it is deleted. Now the question is whether the sutra is applicable now or not, since there is no Pratyaya at this stage. For that, there is one Paribhasha Sutra, Pratyaya Lope, Pratyaya Lakshanam. This sutra tells, even if there is Pratyaya Lopa, the Karya which was supposed to be done by the Pratyaya is going to happen. For example, consider this example of Nadi plus So. So is the Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachana Pratyaya. So we studied hal gnabhyo dirgha sutisya pruktam hal. By that sutra, ni pratyayanta words, when they are followed by su pratyaya, that su pratyaya gets deleted. So here the pratyaya has been deleted, and we know that we call a shabda as pada if it ends with either sup pratyaya or ting pratyaya. Sup tingantam padam, subantam and tingantam, they are called as pada. So now this word nadi ends with sup pratyaya, which is su, but that su has undergone lopa. Still, by pratyayalope pratyayalakshanam, that padatvam, padatva of nadi will be there. So nadi is still be called as a pada by pratyayalope pratyayalakshanam, even though there is a lopa of su. Similarly, consider the pratama vibhakti ekavachana form of others in pullinga. There is a sutra, adasa hau sulopascha, adasa au sulopascha. It means for the others that sakara, the word gets au adesha and there will be sulopa. So sakara will be replaced by au and this su will get deleted. Now the pratyaya has undergone lopa. Here ada plus au, by ruddhirechi a plus au becomes au, adau. There is one more sutra, tado savanantyayoho, by which dakara in this others, which is not at the end of a pada, gets sakaradesha in presence of supratyaya, this supratyaya. So dakara is there in others and it is not at the end. The end letter is au, so dakara is not at the end, but there should be supratyaya after this others. So but here that su has undergone lopa, by still by pratyayalope pratyayalakshanam, that pratyaya nimitta karya continues to happen. So dakara become sakara. Dakara will be replaced by sakara. So asau is the pratama vibhakti form of others. So this is pratyayalope pratyayalakshanam. So here also, even though the pratyaya has undergone lopa, by pratyayalope pratyayalakshanam, the tugagama which was supposed to be happen by epith krut pratyaya is going to happen. So there will be tugagama. Indra G plus tuk, takara remains and the final form is Indrajit. The second pratyaya, which is a pith krut pratyaya, is lep. Let us take the case of upa kru twa. Upa is a upasarga, kru is the dhatu, twa is a krut pratyaya. So whenever there is a samasa before this twa pratyaya, then twa pratyaya gets converted to lep. So lep is not directly mandated or given in pratyayadhikara. It comes in 7th chapter. I told in the one of the previous classes, the 7.1 deals with the adeshas for different pratyayas. This is one of them from that section. Twa will be replaced by lep whenever there is samasa before twa. Samase anai purvo, samase nai purva two lep is the sutra. By that, twa will be replaced by lep. At this stage, in lep, pakara is it and lakara is also it, yakara remains, and it is an adesha to twa. So lep is a pith pratyaya as well as lit pratyaya. Since they are it in that pratyaya, it is also a kit pratyaya because it comes as an adesha to twa. So the property of sthani are carried to the adesha. So twa was kit. So that kitva property has been imported on lep also. So lep is kit, lit and pit. Since it is a kit pratyaya, by Niticha 115, it blocks the gunadesha of this dhatu kru, which was supposed to be done by sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho. So since it is hit, that gunadesha is blocked. So here rasva swara is there at this stage, and it is followed by a pit krut pratyaya lepo. So here there will be tugagama upakrutya is the form we get. Consider one more example for lepo. A gum lepo. Previously it was twa. I have started from the second step. Twa is replaced by lepo. So here, yeah, is the drushya rupa gum. That makara at the end of gum is optionally deleted in presence of lepo by the sutra va lepi. So at this stage, two possibilities are there. Here in case of gum, the last letter is not a rasva letter. It is makara, which is not a rasva letter. So there is no scope of this sutra. And in case of ga, when makara is deleted, the last letter in the dhatu is akara, which is followed by pit krut pratyaya. So there is scope for this rasvasya pitikrutitak. So we will get two forms, agamya or agatya, without tugagama and with tugagama. The third pratyaya is kyep. Kyep is a krut pratyaya, pit krut pratyaya. Stu is the dhatu. In kyep, kakara and pakara rit. Yeah, here also yakara remains. And since here also kakara is there, yes, it blocks the gunadesha of the dhatu stu. So ukara remains, it doesn't undergo gunadesha, and there will be tugagama. So stutya is the form we get. Kvanip. Kvanip is another pit krut pratyaya. Here also kakara is it, and it is given to only two dhatus, I think. In presence of this upasarga Rajan, sorry, it is not upasarga, it is upapada. Rajan, kru, kvanipu. Here kakara is and pakarai are it, so one remains. Ikara is for sake of pronunciation. Here also, since there is kakara in the pratyaya, it is a kit pratyaya, so it blocks the gunadesha of kru. So rasvaswara followed by pit krut pratyaya, there will be tugagama. So at this stage, since Rajan is a pada and it is a pratipadika as well, so there is a sutra nalopa pratipadikant by which that nakara of the pratipadika gets deleted. We shall study this sutra in detail in some point later. You don't need to worry if you don't understand that sutra now. That nakara gets deleted. So Raja Krutvan is the final form. Just I wanted to introduce you different pratyayas, the pitkrut pratyayas and the possibility of tugagama in each of them. No need to go into details of the sutras which give those pratyayas and the prakriya for in detail. The next pratyaya is Gvanip. Su Yajor Gvanip is the sutra. Su and Yaj dhatu, they get this pratyaya. Not all pratyayas are added to all dhatus. Only few dhatus, only few pratyayas are added to all dhatus like ta, tavya, aniyar, those. But majority of the pratyayas are added to specific dhatus. Here Nakara is it and Pakara is also, and Ikara is for pronunciation. So one is the Drushya Rupa. Here also, since Nakara is it, it blocks the Gunadesha by Niticha. So O remains as it is. There will be Gunadesha, blockage of Gunadesha, and there will be Tugagama since there is Rasvaswara followed by Pitkrit Pratyaya. Sut1 is the Krudanta form we get. The sixth one is Kvarappo. It is also ordered to few dhatus, 3 or 4. Innas G is something. Okay, G is one of those. G gets Kvarappo. Kakara and Pakara it. Vara is the Drushya Rupa here also. And since here also Kakara is there, which blocks Gunadesha of Ikara of G. So Rasvaswara followed by Hitkrit Pratyaya. There will be Tugagama. Jitvara is the Krudanta form. These are the 6 pratyayas for which the Rasvasya Pitikruti is applicable. For the other 3, it does not mean it is not applicable. It is applicable, but there is no situations where we can able to apply. We don't find scope of this sutra to be applied there. In case of the last 3 pratyayas, the first among them is up. Since in this pratyaya is added to ukaranta and rukaranta dhatus, ukaranta and rukaranta, and some alanta dhatus also. In case of alanta dhatu, there is no question of this sutra rasvasya pitikruti because rasvasya rasva is related to ach letter. So if alanta dhatu, then there will be al letter at the end. So there is no possibility of tugagama. In case of ukaranta or lukaranta dhatu, since it is a pratyaya, ardhadhatuka pratyaya, in which there is no kakara or nakara. Since there is no kakara or nakara, so there is no blockage of gunadesha. So there will be gunadesha of ukara or rukara, which is present here. So if it is gunadesha of ukara, this O becomes O. Then there will be no rasva here. O is dirgha. If it is rukara, it becomes lar. If it is ru, it becomes lar. Then it ends with refa. Again, there is no rasva. So no cases of rasvanta anga for up will be there. So up doesn't find the scope of this sutra. Rasvasya pitikruti tut. Low becomes low. Then yocho yavayava and final form is lava without the application of this sutra. Similarly, cup. Here kakara is there, it can block gunadesha, but this pratyaya is applicable to only one dhatu. Duha kap gascha is the sutra. Duh dhatu gets kap adesha. Only for this duh dhatu, this kakara will be added. Here, since the dhatu ends with hal letter hakara, since there is no rasva letter here, there will not be application of this sutra rasvasya pitikruti tut. The last pratyaya is vanip. This pratyaya is usually added to akaranta, dirgha akaranta dhatus. So even though there is no blockage of gunaruddhi, since gunaruddhi is not applicable here, since it is not a ik letter. By iko gunaruddhi, the gunadesha, which is mandated by sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho, is applicable only to ik letters. So it is not a ik letter anyway. So the remains as it is. It is not a rasva letter. So there will not be scope for vanip pratyaya also. Now we shall do the dalakrutya of the pratyaya. If the Importance of each word in the sutra. Why rasvasya piti kruti tukku? Why not just piti kruti tukku? Because if it is dirgha swara, then there will not be tudagama. We shall take this example. Sambhu lyap. Here, lyap is a pitkrut pratyaya, but here it ends, the anga ends with dirgha letter, dirgha swara. Bhu. Since it is not rasva, there will not be tugagama. Sambhuya. Or if it is alantam, alanta. If it ends with hal letter, then also there will not be any tugagama. As we saw in agamya, agam, that ends with makara. There also tugagama will not be there. Piti iti kim. Why pit is there? Why not just rasvasya kruti tukku? Consider this example. Kru plus ta. Kru ends with rasvaswara. So rasvaswara is there. And ta is also a krut pratyaya. But it is not pit pratyaya. There is no pakara in this pratyaya as it letter. So there will not be tugagama. Even though there is rasva and even though it is krutu. It is just kruta. Kruta. Why kruti? Why not just rasvasya piti tukku? Consider this example. Kliba plus quip. Here there is a pit krut pratyaya quip that we studied in the case of Indrajit. There is one more sanadi pratyaya by the same name, by the same pratyaya. Same pratyaya quip is a krut pratyaya as well as sanadi pratyaya. If it is sanadi pratyaya, if it is a sanadi pratyaya, it means it is not a krut pratyaya. Then even though there is rasva here, even though there is pakara it here, there will not be there will not be tugagama. Here the anga kliba ends with rasva akara, and the pratyaya is pitto, but it is not krut pratyaya. So here here pakara kakara are itto, they get deleted. Ikara also get deleted. Vakara remains by vera pruktasya, that also gets deleted. But still by pratyayalopya pratyayalakshanam, it can get tugagama. Since it is not a krut pratyaya here, it is a sanadi pratyaya. There will not be tugagama for this rasvakara. So the final sanadyanta form we get, or vibanta form we get, is kliba only without tugagama. Okay, धन्यवादः. This is about rasvasya piti krutituk.